Louisiana.
Uh,
We have so many people here from Louisiana. We have buses coming about twice a week to pick up people. Uh-huh. He may be outside or something, but, oh, you know what? Ramona, Ramona, I sent him for a drug test. Okay, sorry to keep you waiting. Good morning, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Bishop?
Shh.
So Mr. Peters is wanted out of Caddo Parish on issuing a worthless check. I'm assuming this correlates to like issuing a bad check here in Texas.
Okay.
And so I would be asking for a bond so he could go to Louisiana and take care of this business out there and resolve it.
So he's on felony probation for a false statement obtaining credit, picks up a DWI second, and now he's got this case.
Correct. I've told him what that DWI might do to his probation.
Mr. Fisher, man,
Don't say anything about the DWI because you're on felony probation for a very serious, up to 10-year probation. You picked up a new case, and now you have another case in Louisiana. I mean, really.
I had no idea about the case in Louisiana, sir. I had just went to the Army base in Killeen. I was working for Bobtail Crane. And when they escorted us into the military base, nothing popped up about a charge or anything else like that. I had no clue about this. If I would have known about this, I could have easily took care of this whatsoever.
But the problem is that stuff keeps happening. When do we say when? You know?
Sir, like I said, in the case for the DWI, I was not drunk. I was on my way to work.
Really, now's not the time to fight those cases. My only point is that it just, stuff keeps happening.
Yes, sir.
State's asking for no bond. In addition to the federal probation he's on right now, we're also seeing.
He's on federal probation too?
I'm sorry, I thought you said federal, but the 3-year probation that he was on right now from the 185th out of 2022. He also had a deferred revoked in 2010 from Montgomery County that resulted in 10 months of TDC. He also had another TDC trip for tampering with government record in 2008. He had an evading of a motor vehicle, which is a state jail felony that was reduced to a lesser evading for the 351st in 2007. He's also had a couple theft arrests that resulted in dismissals. He's also on a DWI second here in.
And trips you got? 2?
Sir,
How times you been to the pen?
it was just one time, sir. It was just
You're
one
saying
time.
how many times you've been to the penitentiary, Amy?
I'm seeing at least 2 here for TDC.
No,
One in 2008 and another in 2008 from Montgomery.
no. It was only one time.
Here's the thing. If you have 2 pen trips, you're what's labeled a true habitual. Anytime you pick up a serious felony, you're looking at 25 to life. So when you're out there in the free world, you have to be extra special good, because if not, you could be looking at a minimum of 25 years to life.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm just giving you facts.
Judge, if I could argue for my client a little bit, he does have criminal history. The issue here is he's got this DWI. He's made bond on that. He's got a bond there. He is on deferred as well in the 185th. I don't show a court date there. I don't see anything happening there as of yet. The only thing he's here in front of you right now is for issuing a worthless check out of Louisiana. This is something that could easily be taken care of possibly by paying something even from here. If not, he is willing to go to Caddo Parish and avail himself to that parish and figure that out. It's not a serious case, Judge. He does have history. He was, from what he tells me, he was unaware that this popped up. I don't know when this actual case was issued, when it was presented, when it was filed.
Is this a new case? Is this an old case?
It was issued October 31st. The offense date was September 14th.
Of this year, October 31st of this year?
The warrant was issued.
I'm
this
sorry,
year.
24?
Yes, the warrant was issued this year. The offense date was September of last year.
October 31st of this year.
They issued the warrant on October of 24, but the actual alleged offense date is
September of last year.
of 23. Okay.
So less than a month, Judge. He's been in Texas.
My problem and my concern are 2 things, though, Mr. Peters. Number 1, are you a danger to the community? Number 2 is you've got a lot of theft cases, and theft cases where other people are involved. So if I set you a bond is it someone else's money that's going to pay for you to get out? You know, you've got a false statement to obtain credit. You've got a bunch of theft cases. Now you've got another theft case out of Louisiana. So is it someone else's money that's paying for you to get out? And then when we get you out, are you still a danger to the community? You know what I mean? Perception is reality, Mr. Peters, and your record speaks for itself.
Can I say something, Mr. Fisher?
Just don't talk about the
No,
cases.
I'm not talking about the cases. We all have a past. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Fisher? Some of us been caught, some of us haven't been caught. But at the end of the day, I have changed my life and turned myself around. Since all of those things that you have talked about, I have been driving trucks. I have been doing right by the community. I have custody of my 11-year-old son that I am being a example of what a man should be. I have done everything that I'm supposed to do, Mr. Fisher. I'm not out here causing chaos and controversy about anything out here in society. I speak at the local church.
DWI 2 days ago, a second DWI, you're on the felony deferred, and now you've got a fugitive case.
Mr. Fisher, that was, again, I was not under the influence. I had just got out for work at Bobtail Crane. That's when that transpired. I told the officer that I did not have anything to do with the drink. He said, because your eyes are red. That does not solidify me as being drunk. I was tired. I just worked 16 hours.
Don't talk about specifics.
Yeah,
of the cases.
okay.
How much is the value of the check?
Like 511. It's under 1,000.
Judge, he hasn't made a mistake in your court. We're just asking.
But my concern, Ricardo, is where is he going to get the money to pony it up?
Well, Judge, I know you're speculating that it could be the public's money, but it could also be his money. I mean, he's been working for 5 years. He's got a CDL. He worked at Superstar Logistics for 5 years before working for Bobcat Crane. So he's been gainfully employed. It could easily be his money. I mean, there's nothing to say that it's the public's money or anything like that. He's got a history, but he's got no history with you. And so that being the case, I would ask that he be allowed to make this right. If he messes up at that point, I got nothing to say. But at this point, he hasn't messed up in your court.
Opposed to a bond? What if we set a high bond? You know, I mean, it's going to be a couple thousand. You know, it's going to be 5,000 to 10,000.
I can stop you, Judge, but our position is no bond.
You know, the problem is that you're an inherent flight risk. So if I set you a bond, you're going to have to pony up all that kind of money to get out. This is no 10% deal. You're a fugitive case, man. So when we set you a bond, you have to post it in its entirety. No 10%, no 20%. Just because of everything that you have open, you are an inherent flight risk. So you got to be aware of that. So if I do set you a bond, it's going to be at least, 5,000, 7,500.
There's no way possible that I can, if it's 100% of that bond, there's no way possible that I can do that, man. I'm trying everything in my power. Got a good job and everything else like that. I understand.
This,
but this is just
not all bad news, because you're not wanted out of like Wyoming, Montana, Alaska, Louisiana. We have so many people here from Louisiana. We have buses coming about twice a week to pick up people to take them back and to bring them from Louisiana. We really have, it's incredible the amount of people we have. So around 2 times a week, we have people shuffling in and out of Louisiana. What I would say is you should save your money and use that to hire a lawyer in Louisiana to fight your case. Because I'm telling you, has he waived yet?
Yes.
You'll be out of here within the next 2 to 3 days if you keep your waiver.
Judge, if I may reiterate something, we're at November 7th. I'm still confused whether this was issued the 24th or the 31st. Either way, it's less than, even if it was the 24th, we're talking less than 2 weeks that this warrant has been open. He's got no knowledge of this. All of a sudden, he's being held 14 days in custody with something that just popped up. He's been in Texas working. I don't even know when the last time he was in Louisiana. This has been less than a month that he could have had notice that this was even present. They don't call him and tell him, hey, you got a warrant out. It's completely plausible that he didn't know that this was open. It hasn't been sitting for a year. It's been sitting for less than 2 weeks.
Ricardo, the offense date was September 20 of 23, so it would have been like a year.
The offense date, but when was the warrant issued?
October of this year,
October 24th or 31st?
October 2024.
Okay, so we're at November 7th, less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm saying he had no notice that there was a warrant issued for him. He didn't know that,
Okay,
he didn't know the case was open. I don't know the last time he was in Louisiana. He hasn't been able to make this right. He's saying he didn't have notice of this, but the warrant has been open.
I mean, I understand your argument, right? But it's still got to set him a bond. If he wants a bond, I'm going to set it, at a minimum of 5 to 7,500,
Okay.
and then you're going to probably have to make, I would assume, a good amount of that. That's just the nature of the beast when it comes to fugitive cases, right? But like I said, if you keep your waiver, chances are within the next 2 to 3 days, you'll be out of here regardless. You need to make the decision, but it's a matter of you're paying a ton of money to get out when you could also save that money and hire yourself a lawyer.
Judge, one last thing. So we're talking about 100%. We're talking about,
I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating. I've never been in the bonding business, so I have no
that's my
idea.
understanding as well, that it's going to be 100%.
Him, he's got a laundry list of priors. He's got 2 open cases here. He's got a fugitive case out of another state. Most probably a bonding company is going to want quite a bit of jack up front because you're a flight risk. Not only that, you're on a PR bond on the DWI second that they gave you. If you get held up there, it's very possible they revoke your bond on the DWI second. And then in the position you are here, you're going to be in the exact same position over there.
That's why I'm saying, Your Honor. That's why I'm saying, Your Honor. I'm trying to get out there, handle it, and make it clear so that I can handle.
I know that you're
everything
trying to
else.
get out, but my job is to protect the community.
Judge Fletcher, Dave says he's in the Zoom room.
Sorry, got a day coming in.
All right.
Mr. Kim.
Hi, Judge. Are we
Hey,
still
dude.
approaching on Peters?
Yeah, he's in front of us now.
Okay. I'm playing catch up, but Amy told me that you were considering a bond regarding this defendant.
Yes.
So I have strong objections to a bond being granted for this fugitive case. I don't know if Amy has already relayed, and I don't know if you're familiar, but I was actually the prosecutor that put him on the deferred in the 185th. It was a PSI, and I was the prosecutor assigned to the case. And the 185th, when Judge Wong was still on the bench, is that he put him on a deferred, but he also had jails as a condition of his probation because they were concerned with how many thefts he had, along with the anti-theft course. And the reason why that's pertinent here is because what he's wanted for is issuing worthless checks issued on October 31st, 2024. On top of that, he's violated that deferred by committing another DWI second, along with a Conroe charge. And so
He has a charge in Conroe as well?
Well, it's finished now, but I believe it was after the deferred. Let me go back, Judge. It was on, there was 2. Oh no, sorry, I was thinking of the older one. I thought there was a newer one. My mistake. It was older. But that still doesn't take away from the other arguments presented, is that it's the same type of offense, less than 3 years after he was put on the deferred, in addition to the second violation in county, which the court can see. And that was as recent as 2 days ago.
Has the
And
court given you any kind of guidance as what they're going to do? Do you know? I mean, I don't see.
Well, I mean, I haven't heard anything from the 185th, but because this fugitive case, the warrant was issued out on October 31st, there's nothing to say that the 185th won't revoke his deferred for the violation. So on top of the DWI sec, to say nothing of the fact that there are obviously technicals because there is a positive for alcohol. So it's a combination of things that even if the court grants a bond here, if they revoke or file the prosecutors in the 185th file a motion to revoke, he's going to be without a bond there anyway.
Judge, 2 things. If it is 100%, we're talking about 5,000. That would be a $50,000 bond on a worthless check case out of Louisiana.
You have so many variables here that are in play at this moment, Mr. Peters, that you could literally pay $5,000 to get out now, and then they issue a felony warrant tomorrow in your probation case that would literally be throwing $5,000 down the drain. would be very careful. I mean, I don't know how much money you have. I know I don't have that much money, but if you have just enough money to throw $5,000 away, I would be very careful because like I'm telling you, they could any day now file a motion to revoke your probation, felony warrant's going to issue, and then all the money that you are putting into this is just it's out the tubes. It's out the window.
Your Honor, I have to at least save my job so that I can do what I need to do to fight that DWI case. Nevertheless, I'm an innocent man until proven guilty. So whatever crimes I have done in the past, I have paid my time for that. I had did that when I was a younger man. I'm no longer that younger man that I was.
Kidding? Who are you kidding? Done this when I was a younger man. It's a year and a half ago. You're on probation. Now you picked up a DWI. Now you got this. I mean, really, who are you kidding yourself? Just look. Just if you want me to set the bond, I'm going to set it at around 5 to 7,500. Okay, if you want to do it, do it. I'll give you time to consider. But I'm telling you, it's probably not one of the wisest ideas because within the next 2 to 3 days, you'll be out here if you don't pony up that money. And it's very possible that they any day now file that motion to revoke because they're going to let the 185th know that you've picked up 2 cases from the time that you've been on probation, right? You have. You picked up a new case in Louisiana. You picked up a case here, right? While you've been on probation. That's not one of the things that you're supposed to do. So any moment, lickety spit, they're going to file a motion to revoke. And if
Actually, Your Honor, if I may, if the court does set a bond, then I'm gonna ask Amy. I would be in court right now, but I'm under the weather and I don't want to risk anybody else. And so if the court does intend to set a bond, then I'm gonna send an email out to the 185th right now to see if they'll revoke the deferred.
it's up to you.
Talk to him about where we're
You
at.
guys talk. I don't want you to make a rash decision just because you got blinders on your eye to get out. When you guys are in the driver's seat, let me know what you want to
Talk
do.
to him
Don't
about
make
where we're at, Judge.
don't make a decision right here. Take your time, think about it, and then let me know what you want to do.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
I'll talk to him.
Mr. Gold,
Hello again, Your Honor. I got Joel Varela Villas.
Mac is the last name.
Sir.
All right, you are Eric Matthew Mack.
Sir.
Mr. Mack, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You're also charged with interference to the duties of a public servant. On both of those, you're facing up to 6 months in jail. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On October 30th, 2024, officers were patrolling an apartment complex in Harris County, Texas, that is known to have a high amount of crime. Officers are familiar with the property manager who has complained about trespassers in the past. There were multiple no trespassing, no loitering signs throughout the apartment complex. Officer observed the defendant walking around the apartment complex wearing a hoodie with the hood up and a mask covering his whole face and holding an unknown object in his pocket. Officer asked if the defendant lived in the complex and the defendant did not answer. Officers believe that crime was afoot as defendant refused to remove his hands from his pocket. Officers attempted to Terry frisk the defendant for any weapons. The defendant refused to be patted down for weapons. Officers attempted to detain him for a criminal trespass investigation, but he refused to be placed in handcuffs. He resisted to be placed in handcuffs, and it took 4 minutes. It took 4 deputies to detain him as he kept pulling away and moving his hands away from each other. It was determined that the defendant did not reside at the apartment complex.
Mr. Mack, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. How old are you, sir? What do you do for a living? Why not? Sorry,
I'm retiring.
I can't hear you.
I'm retiring.
There are so many people that are hiring. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the next move in your life? You're 21, you ain't got no job. What are you doing with your life?
Military.
That would be a great idea. Holy moly, that would be awesome. Really. That will give you structure, it'll give you discipline, and it'll get you a job. That would be a fantastic thing to do. But jobless, no prospects, no future at 21, that's not going to bode well for you. So I'll appoint your lawyer today, but it's one of the 2 things. Great idea if you want to go to the military. If not, you must get a job, and I'm making that a condition of your bond. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You cannot just smoke weed and play Xbox and do nothing all day without no regard to your future. It's not going to happen. So 2 things. I don't want you going back to this location, and I don't want you to have any weapons. Do you understand?
Sir,
I'll have you fill out an application. I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks and I want to see what you have done to get a job. If you've done nothing, it's not going to go well. Do you understand, Mr. Mack? You
sir,
got to do something with your life because if not, you're going to be hunchless, just on the side of the road, begging for money without a prospect. That's not a good way to go through life. Do you understand?
sir.
All right, come on, Stephen, I'll give you an application. You'll sign a reset with Ramona and then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. Are you Arnaldo Bernabe Larios Tayun?
Yes, sir.
Order in the court, please.
You were charged with driving while intoxicated. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On October 31st, 2024, officers were dispatched at 2:46 a.m. to report to the motor vehicle sitting in the intersection of a public roadway in Harris County, Texas.
Can I get you to slow down just a tad?
Yes,
Please.
of course.
Order in the court.
Vehicle was.
The vehicle was
El
sitting
vehículo
in the
estaba
intersection
estacionado en
of
la
a public
intersección de
roadway
la calle pública
in Harris County,
del condado
Texas,
de Harris County,
with the
Texas,
driver
con el
asleep at the
chofer ahí
wheel.
dormido en el volante.
Upon
El perdido,
arrival,
los policías,
officers located defendant's motor vehicle
encontraron el
and
vehículo
observed
sacaron
defendant
manos
to be the
y lo
sole
vieron que era el
occupant
único
of the
que estaba
vehicle.
en el vehículo.
Upon
Cuando
contact with the
hicieron contacto
defendant,
con el acusado,
officers
los
observed
oficiales
red
vieron
glossy
que tenía
eyes,
los ojos brillosos,
slurred speech,
tanto
and an
mirar para
odor of
hablar y un
alcoholic
olor de alcohol
beverage emitting from the
que provenía
defendant's person,
de su persona.
along with poor
Cuando
balance.
también no se podía balancear.
The defendant
El
admitted to
acusado
drinking,
admitió de que
and
había
an
tomado
inventory
y
of
cuando
the
hicieron
vehicle
inventario del vehículo
yielded several
vieron de
open,
que
cold to the
varios
touch beer cans,
Drinking while driving.
siendo y tomando
most of which were mostly
cuando
empty.
la mayor parte estaban vacíos.
SFSTs
La
were conducted,
FST se hicieron
6 out of 6
6 de 6 del
HGN,
HGN,
plus vertical gaze
también el
nystagmus,
nystagmus vertical,
and 3 out of 4
y
one-leg stand.
3 de 4 de pararse en una sola pierna.
The defendant
El
failed to perform the
acusado
walk and turn
no pudo
because he
hacer el
failed to
caminar y
follow
voltear porque no
instructions.
siguió las instrucciones.
DICs were
El
read but
DS se le
refused,
leyó,
and a
se
warrant was
negó,
signed and
entonces se
executed.
firmó una
He
orden y
has
se
no driver's license,
hizo.
judge, and
No
no
tenía
prior criminal
licencia ni
history.
tampoco tenía ningún antecedentes.
I would hope
Yo,
that you recognize it's elementary that you're not supposed to have alcohol in the car while you are driving, Mr. Tayun.
señor Tayun,
Do you have a Texas driver's license? Look at me.
míreme, no,
Not
a usted
allowed
no
to
se le
drive.
permite conducir.
What's your immigration status? Are you a United States citizen?
¿Es ciudadano americano?
No,
No,
Are you in this country with or without permission?
without.
What happens if you go to jail?
I'm not outside of the place.
I don't know, I believe that return me to my country.
Right.
Cierto.
You will sit
Usted va
in jail
a la cárcel.
waiting for this case to be over with, and then you will be shipped off to immigration.
Lo mandan con
But you will
migración.
sit in immigration custody for about 6 to 9 months, waiting for immigration to do whatever they're going to do. And I'm going to tell you now, the incoming president is not very sympathetic
Ese no es muy
with people
simpático.
who are in immigration custody.
Yes.
Do you understand?
¿Entiende? Yes, sir.
I'm putting conditions on
La
you
primera condición
and your bond. And if you violate it in any way,
condiciones,
then you will go to jail. The reason you got out as quick as you did is because we gave you a free bond.
pedimos
It
una
will not happen again. You violate conditions. More importantly, if you drive, because I'm ordering you not to,
¿Acaso?
then I'm going to make your bond extremely high.
Entonces,
This is a promise that you're going to make to me today, that you're not going to drive. And I don't care what is going on in your life.
a mí no me
You
importa.
drive. I can have a contempt hearing. You will be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. So if you drive 3 times, I will have 3 contempt hearings. You are also not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, you will go to jail.
Consumiendo la-
And let me be frank with you. If they charge you with the open container, that is a minimum of 5 days in jail. And I'm going to tell you, if you do anything more than 4 hours in custody, you will be stuck like Chuck in custody with an immigration detainer. Do you understand?
¿Entiende?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Have you come up here, swear to us that you're not gonna
¿Va a
drive?
jurar de que no va
I'm not done yet. After that, you will get to Ramona where you will sign a reset.
a firmar la
After that, you'll get with Felicia for your bond conditions. This is the only warning that you will get from us, Mr. Tayoun. So take it. If not, you will spend a lot of time with us. When you come back, please have a lawyer, sir. Now you may go. Set first appointment for January.
But that's what the documentation he showed the judge.
The earliest appointment you could get to start your GED is in January. Really? Really?
I already have the place where I'm supposed to go register. But they told me I gotta wait until the first.
Are you working now, Mr. Dame?
I'm working right now. That's why.
What are you doing?
My warehouse. I call it like dropping. I call it like pallets. Taking out the truck.
January is too far off. Unacceptable. It's too far off.
Cause they don't have none right now. They're all.
I'll go somewhere else. Where are you looking now?
Harris
Harris County.
Department of Education.
Why not go somewhere else?
Cause I don't have money like that to be spending right now. Cause I still gotta pay my bond.
How much is that one right there?
It's free. They're free. The programs are free.
Victoria, do we have any like programs to get a GED that are like low income, low? Do you know of anything that's available?
Yes, I have resources, I just don't know, like how soon they'll be available. I can call them.
Do you mind real quick to see? That's 2 months away. There's no way. We're gonna find you something quicker. You have to get started on it now. If you don't get started on it now and you wait till January, you're never gonna do anything. You're gonna sit just wasting away. And we need to get started now
Yes,
while
sir.
you're with us right now. I'm also now gonna send you for a drug and alcohol test. I wanna make sure that you're clean. If you're clean, I'm gonna be very happy. Mr. Adame, I hope you're not using,
Yes, sir.
all right? Still go ahead, take a seat for me. I want to make sure that, I want to see what we can do to try to get him into something quicker than just January.
No problem.
Yeah, okay.
Next one we have is Cabrera. He was here last week. We did a TRAS evaluation on him. TRAS recommends DDRP.
Okay.
The state's offering 9 months deferred adjudication. Of course, I'm sure you're going to what?
You said Herrera, right? Herrera?
Era.
Cabrera.
Oh, Cabrera. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, he's crying. He doesn't want DDRP. I told him it's not Burger King. Is there any type of,
He's still back there, right?
yes,
It's,
is there any offer that you would accept?
oh, no.
I didn't think so.
Just-
Gotta ask the question.
Do you mind bringing out Cabrera, please? Yep. No, Giovanni, right? Oh, wait. We've got two Cabreras. Which one?
It's Giovanni.
Giovanni?
Yes, that's him.
Just curious, for GED programs, can they start like at any time?
Say it again?
For GED programs, like online.
It's just, you do whatever you want. They have them online. You can start at them at any time. It's just whether you want to. No. You can, they have online ones. They have ones in, well, they're everywhere. HCC, just,
How much you want to spend.
right.
It's not one of those things where you have to.
No.
That's what I was curious
No.
about.
But
It's just-
apparently it is with Harris County, that one. that he
Problem
went
is
to.
that a lot of people claim it's about money, but as you've seen here, people pay what they want to pay. Even though they say they can't pay, they still have money to spend elsewhere to do other things, right? It's a matter of priorities. And so that's why,
Well, that makes a lot of sense, because I was thinking, well, it is November, so if they're doing it on a semester, so then January.
it's what he's looking into a program that's through the Department of Education that's free.
No, that makes a lot of sense. now.
Whereas I want to see if we can find something that's like either low cost or
Yeah.
free, so we can get started sooner. Morning, Mr. Cabrera.
Sir.
How's jail? You're clean, right? Ultimately, that's what matters, that you're staying clean. We have you evaluated to see how we go forward, because I don't know. I don't know you. All I know is your history, and your history is not good. And if I had to bet, and if I was a betting man, I bet most of the charges that you have here are drug and alcohol related. You now have the ability that if you put your heart and soul into it, you could make this thing work and last for a long time to keep you out of trouble. I have a program that's probably valued at around $15,000 to $30,000 for people who are in the outside world who a lot of times can't afford it. I know you don't want to do it, but I think that's probably the best thing for you. I mean, you've got how many, theft, weed, delivery, burglary, delivery, theft, possession, trespass, and now you got, we're working 20 priors here. Now's the time to make use of it before you dig yourself into a catastrophic hole that you never come out of. And if you don't believe me, watch online. Look at how many people end up with a 25 to 40-year sentence because of dope they can't get away from, and they use that as an excuse. I'm not going to let you sit here and go outside and say the system failed me. It's not going to happen here. We have the ability. We're going to use it. Do you have any questions?
If we go through with the program, am I gonna have to wait in here till they come and pick me up, or y'all gonna release me into the program now? I don't wanna have to waste time in here, just sitting here.
It's a 2-week wait, but Shatoria said she can expedite it for a week. So you'll be in it in a week,
You do the program within a week.
Within a week?
which is great. Because,
That's fantastic.
usually when you're upstairs in felony courts, the wait's like 2 months.
Everybody's telling me that they're waiting for a program 3 months and
And
then,
don't listen to those jailhouse lawyers. You know about that. You know what I mean? That's why they're there. Don't listen to them. Here, we got the goods and it's a week to get you in. But make use of it. That way you don't end up back out there, learn a trade, do something worthwhile. Okay,
Get paperwork together.
done. Okay, gosh. Oh, tell me. Okay,
As far as I need a reset on, Sarah, in all cases, they just produced the body cam
okay.
last setting. I looked at it. It doesn't show her in the vehicle, but there's some issues there that we need to, I need to look and talk to some witnesses who were actually there as opposed to that. I just need to reset.
Is discovery complete?
It
Judge,
appears to be complete from, yes,
Yes, it's complete, Judge.
How much time do you want?
30 days.
It's 190 days old now. So at that time though, if you want to do PTI, she's got to be ready for it. So with packet in hand, everything done. And then,
It's a question.
looks like it's a-
Mr. Anderson.
oh, really? She doesn't want to do PTI.
Well, it doesn't seem to be at the present time because she says she wasn't driving the vehicle. There's some issues I need to look into, Judge.
Hey, is she here now?
Yes, she's here.
Sarah Flores, come up. By then, we're going to be at 2:20 and we're not going to be just going back and forth. Okay, now we want to do PTI.
I don't,
I'll give you the 30 days, but at the next setting, it's plea or trial. If at that time you want to do PTI, you got to have the packet ready. So look, we set cases for trial at 180 days. Your case is now 190 days old and Carl is asking me for another reset. I will acquiesce, but I'm not giving you another one after that. You guys need to go through this case between now and then. We have the option to do an intervention program where if you're granted entry into it and you complete it successfully, the case gets dismissed. However, you have to apply to get into that program. You guys need to talk. If you want to set this case for trial next time, great. If you want to apply for the pretrial intervention program, you have to have everything in hand by the next time you come back. That includes the mitigation packet. Because you're at a 0.15, is there an accident?
no.
Okay, regardless, you're at a 0.15 or above, so they require you to do a mitigation packet. Carl can explain that to you, but if you want to do it, you got to have the packet in hand next time. I'm not going to come back here, okay, we need another reset to get the packet. Nope. The next setting is plea or trial unless you have the packet in hand. If you do, you come here, we'll send you for TRAS, an evaluation, which is what everybody needs to do to get into this program. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll see you in 30 days.
Understand, Judge. Can, C-A-N, Lisa, PTID. She's not here.
The last thing, Can,
Can't, C-A-N.
it's waived.
Okay, I know her appearance is late, but she wanted me to approach you for a reset to get your.
It's 143. It's getting up there, but
And the last one I have is, last thing is Barr.
okay.
He's not here today, Judge. He was in custody. His felony case was resolved, it was dismissed, but he doesn't have transportation to get here. He's in a wheelchair and he didn't have transportation to be here today. He's facing offer time.
Okay, I'll set it for bond forfeiture for 1 week. He's got to be here. If he fails to come here next week, then I'm revoking his bond. Let him know.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
got it. Okay, Yash.
How are
Hey,
you?
bud, what's new?
Not much. I'm here on Mr. Justin Harrison. as he's on the docket.
Okay.
Judge, the state is offering 30 days on this case. I would like deferred adjudication. We haven't been able to reach an agreement. So I was wondering if we can approach.
Are you, without an agreed record, are you okay or no?
I would like to tell you about the case and the facts, Judge, and then I would be willing to do whatever
Okay.
you would like. So, Judge, this is just for the court's reference, the client, the defendant does have criminal history from 2016 to theft-related cases, $150 to $500, and one fraudulent destruction of a price tag, Class A misdemeanor, both convictions. Also, a 1999 driving while license suspension conviction and a unlawful carrying of a weapon conviction as well from 2002. In this case, Judge, this is an Astros merchandise theft case where the defendant goes to an Astros game. On the surveillance video, it's quite clear. He comes in with an empty bag, puts a jacket on, puts a shirt on, walks directly out of the store. The reason why I'm offering 30 days on this case on a retail theft, glorified retail theft, is because I believe that the defendant attempted to hide what he did by going to a game again the day after to pay for a jacket, to come bring proof to court to try to get it dismissed. To me, that was
You
extremely.
would violated bond conditions then, because we ordered him not to go back.
So to me,
But
I
there's
would
no proof of that, Your Honor. There's no proof that he went back to the same game.
No, he's saying the day after he goes. How do you know? this is in charge of the felony now. It's a second. I mean, this is a third theoretically, right?
Yes, Judge.
I mean, you tell me.
Go talk to him,
You
Judge.
tell me.
I'll come back.
Well, I think
Okay.
it's not a third because the charge is, one of the charges he's convicted of is not technically a theft, it's fraudulent destruction of a price tag. So it's theft related, but I don't think for purposes of an enhancement, it's technically a felony, but it probably should be.
Let me know. I'm okay with it, but it's gonna be rather long. And then if he does well, we'll cut him loose early. Okay.
I'll let him know. Thank you.
For sure, yes. Mr. Cole.
Question. I'm talking to my client Joel Avilas about a potential time served plea. It's a racing case. I just want to make sure if he does take a time served plea, you won't be doing any kind of license suspension.
What's his last name?
Avilas? Maybe Varela Avilas?
Yeah, I don't see Avila, so let's look under the, is it a second?
No, he has no history. He's got some dismissed stuff, but this would be his first conviction.
Anything that has to do with driving, on his record.
There's a lot of construction on the toll road. If you're going that fast, probably pass through it,
But
rather
you're
quickly.
supposed to slow down at an extreme slow place when you're extremely slow pace when you're going through a construction zone.
Right.
Mr. Leroy, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case, and I'm now taking away your privilege to drive. You're not allowed to drive at all. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You will be signing an affidavit with me, and I hope you take it seriously, because if not, you will be facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. And I don't care what your excuse is. Mother Teresa needs a ride to church. You come down, we will have a hearing, and you're facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of dope, likewise, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
These are two different affidavits that you're going to be signing. So if I find that you drive, and I don't care what it's for, I will have two contempt hearings every time you drive. You have a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Aiel, and he will tell you when you have to come back to court. If he comes back to me and tells me he can't get a hold of you, you pick up a new case. You violate conditions, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, we'll have you go.
Thanks.
I know he was here. I spoke to him and I told him not to leave.